So let's start with a question. Um, how many sticks do you see here? Do you see three or do you see four? And the reason why I'm asking is because today we are going to talk a lot around how we perceive things and what we can do about it, especially when you are a busy professional and you have your goals on your mind for 2026. It was new year, you have some new year's resolutions, you have long-term goals, you have short-term goals, and you want to achieve them and you want to level things up. Now, how can you do that? How can you level things up? So when looking at this picture, how many stakes do you see? Is it three or is it four? And yeah, so as I said, today I want to talk about like what to do when life is busy, when you are a busy professional and you want to achieve your goals while maintain your well-being, and how mindfulness can be, let's say, helpful, beneficial for that. And I'm going to make myself bigger here so that you can see me, because in case we haven't met yet, my name is Barbara and I support people living and working abroad to achieve their goals while maintaining their well-being. And today I want to talk about mindfulness because you probably heard this word a lot in last couple of years, or perhaps it's just my algorithm on social media, but you hear it like you need to take mindful approach at work. Yeah, let's be mindful of not doing this mistake, and let's be more conscious about that. And yeah, like bringing mindfulness to workplace, bringing mindfulness to your life. But what does it mean actually? And so today, and I know that you are busy, and I know that it is Saturday, but that's why we are doing this live today, because um, usually busy week is from Monday to Friday, and then you find a little bit more time on Saturdays and Sundays, and so that's why I decided to do it on Saturday, and let me know how you find it. I know that most of you guys are watching this as a replay, but still, just let me know. So let's continue in sharing here. Let me just try. Okay, is this better? Well, I want you to see me, but I also want you to see the presentation. So I think that, yeah, I think I like this one the most. So, what like I want you to create an understanding around like mindfulness and how mindfulness can be beneficial for you uh in those busy days, so that you can continue having focus, so that you continue uh, being strong, being resilient, and be able to be ready for any challenge. And so I want you to ask a question regarding when you drive a car. If you don't drive a car, you can also imagine you walking. Have you ever experienced that when you were, for example, driving home or walking home, that you realize you don't even know how you got there? The reason why I'm asking is because if so, then you were on automatic pilot. We could take another example. When you are and still driving, when you are driving, do you think about like like changing the gears, or do you do it automatically? You do it automatically. And when we are busy, it is so easy to fall down to be on automatic pilot throughout the way, more than actually necessary. And um, being actually on automatic pilot is not bad in some situations. Like, for example, with driving the car and changing the gears, you like, since you know how to do it, you don't have to learn it again and again. But in some cases, some situations, it's not that much helpful. Like, for example, when you are in a difficult conversation, and you react on the person faster than you are actually able to think through what you want to say. And so then you snap at the person, you mm, raise your voice, or you say something that you regret when you look back. If you are a busy professional, being on automatic pilots in at work can be really beneficial for in some cases, but in others it might actually um, impact your performance, because you might be doing, let's say, a task, and just do it on automatic pilot and um, not notice that one detail. Or you might be on automatic pilot, and since you are busy, you need to do things really, really quickly, and so you do them without even like thinking about like doing them, and you are in this, like, in this, as if you were a machine. But in the end, you you don't make a change, and you have this same pattern, and you um and you're like, yeah, well, I wanted to change this, but again, like, the time flew so fast through the day. Or it could be with eating, because when we are eating and we are on automatic pilot, we don't even know how the food got into our ass, or we don't even realize when we are full. Does this sound relatable or familiar? The reason why I'm starting this with automatic pilot is because um, one of my goals here for this session is to talk to you about the automatic pilot, in order that we start thinking about bringing the awareness to something in more conscious way, and in like more, let's say, curious way. And also then it will help you to place the attention. And so if you have a goal, it might have happened to you that since you were on this automatic pilot, in this cycle, you weren't able to change the pattern, and to, like, even though if you said, yeah, starting on Monday I'll start doing this, or yeah, first I need to do this, and then well, or like, first I'm going to organize myself, and then um I'll continue doing this. If you're in automatic pilot and you don't place the attention to what you want actually to change, then it is really hard to do it differently, because your body is used to it, yourself is used to do it a specific way. And so um, we want to learn, or like yeah, what we want is to be more aware where we place the attention. And what we also want is to be more aware how we respond to things. And to do so, perception and knowing what your perception of situations, people, you, the situations, events is, can be really much helpful. So of this, I showed you the stakes, and I was asking you whether you see 3 or 4. Here we have something similar. You probably know this with the vase. Is it a vase or is it a person? What do you see? Or like two faces. How you perceive a situation determines your mood and outcome. So if we brought this to your everyday life, how you perceive, for example, how the other person reacts or responds to you, how you perceive it, then impacts what happens next. So, for example, if there is a manager that's really difficult and who is giving you a hard time, the way how you perceive the situation then impacts your mood and the outcome. So the way how you react to him then impacts your whole day and impacts your energy, impacts your emotions. And therefore, and like with perception, we mean this interpretation of things, let's say. So analyzing your perception helps you to respond rather than react, because when you get out of this automatic pilot and you are more aware of how you perceive things, then it is easier to take care of yourself. It is easier to respond the way you want to respond. Now, of course, this is really easily said. And I really wish I could give you just like, one mindfulness practice and everything would be just like resolved. And since you are busy, you need the shortages, right? Well, stressors is something that you can't avoid. You have stressors in your day-to-day life every day. You know what I mean? Every day there is a stressor. And so when we look at stress cycle, and I decided that I'm going to draw for you today to so that you have a better understanding. You have here the stressor. Wait, I'm going to move the microphone, and I hope that you will continue hearing me just fine. Okay, so you have here the stressor. The stressor, whatever that means for you. And you have here the reaction. The stress reaction. Right? And so when there is a stressor in your life, you somehow react to it. And our reactions and responses relate to our stress. And so, if I'm going to just move here so that I can see better. Yeah, good. And our reactions can also become stressors. And so, with the stress reaction, we mean that we'll start to have some thoughts. We'll start having some feelings about the stressor, some emotions. And it will also impact our body sensations. We'll talk about it just in a minute. Yeah, I was thinking whether I should draw it on my tablet or if this will be better. I wanted to try this if you'll see it. And also, really important, our impulses. And so you know your thoughts and what happens like when there is a stressor and like you have a thought and there is a difficult situation, like what kind of thoughts you have. Are they more positive, more negative? The same with the emotion. How do you feel in that moment? And perhaps like do you sense any sensation on your body? And also, what's the urge that you have at the moment? So for example, some might have this urge to, like, when there is a stressful situation, they start eating chocolate. When there is a stressful situation, they start wanting to just like escape and not do anything that needs to be done at work. A stressor can be, for example, doing a presentation in front of a team. And so like when there is this stressor, uh, the stressful event, and so your reaction to this stressor is like your thoughts, like for example um, with the with the presentation that like there might be like thoughts like I'm not good enough, or what if I'll fail, what if something, and you know this feeling. And then you feel like really nervous. Perhaps your chest is really like close, and it's really hard for you to actually speak in front of the team. And the impulse is like, or the urge is like, to just like call in sick to work, or perhaps when you're really stressed before the presentation, to procrastinate on it. And so these reactions, they relate to the stressor. Our reactions can then also become stressors. So, for example, when there is a presentation and when you are really conscious about your thoughts and you start ruminating, it actually becomes to be more stressful than it actually is. And mindfulness helps with the intensity of the reaction. So it also helps you to perhaps more like, let's say, respond mindfully. And it gives you this space to actually perhaps um, work with the difficulty. Like for example, um, it could be like, for example, to help you with the ability to just name the stressor, name what's happening. And so when we'll go back to the um, to the presentation. But before that, I would like to talk about physiology of the stress. So, because this is really, 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 really also important. So, when you think of a stressful situation or something that's stressing you out, I would like you to think about where in the body you feel it. So I'm going to draw here. So this is like my masterpiece. Also, thank you for all the comments saying good morning to you back, and welcome. And so we have here this person. All right, and I want you to think about like when there is an event that's stressing you out, or perhaps there's whatever it can be. But let's not go into like from the scale from 1 to 10. Let's think of something that's stressing you out, like around maximum 4, right? We don't want to go into the 10 here on the life. We want to more like um create an awareness around like what's happening, and then we can explore it further. So when you have here this person, where do you sense the stress? So for example, a person who, let's say with the presentation, a person who is whose stressor is the presentation might feel tension here on the neck. Also perhaps here on the mouth. Another person might perhaps notice tension in the belly. Another might have it in the legs, perhaps, and it would be like really heavy, legs. Um, Perhaps some of you or this person, for example, might have sweaty hands or sweaty armpits. Um, there might also be a tension around the head. And we could continue. For each of you, it will be different. Also depending, sorry, I hope that I just crashed the microphone. I hope that you didn't hear it. With each situation, it will change. So for example, some days or at some point it might be the pressure in the tummy. Sometimes it might be the sweaty hands. Sometimes it might be the neck. Sometimes it might be the pressure on your chest. Sometimes it might be the whole body. So our body is like a barometer. Our body is telling us when it feels safe and when it also doesn't feel safe. For example, when there is a stressful situation and we are, and then we can experience these. And Oh, this is better. Oh, like this. That's better. Stress also impacts our heart rate, and whether there is like coherent or incoherent beat. And so, why why am I talking about this today when I want to talk about mindfulness? Because mindfulness helps you with the with coping with the stress, with managing the stress, and with building more resilient you. And so when, for example, looking at this, I'm not saying that mindfulness will help you to not have the tension in the belly or in the chest or sweaty hands for your next presentation. But mindfulness helps you to create the awareness around it, and also helps you to create this pause of um, where you want to actually place the attention. Because, for example, let's stay with the presentation, right? You have two options. You will continue ruminating, and you will just focus on how you are stressed, how it is going to be difficult, how it might be embarrassing, and you'll just keep stuck in this way. Or you can create the awareness around, okay, this is happening to me. My hands are sweaty. My thoughts aren't really helpful right now. What can I do? How can I support myself? And the answer is, for all of you, different. Some of you might want to just like focus on your breath. Some of you might want to close your eyes, visualize. Some of you might need, in that situation, to take a sip of water, which is me right now. So I'm going to do it. Also, did you see my glass? That's Friends. I love it. Got it for Christmas. So this is really important for all of you who are also busy professionals, because it's not about slowing your performance down. It's about slowing you down, but increasing your performance, focus, clarity, and being more able to make decisions on your own that are, thought through. So you probably got that, like, when I talk about mindfulness, I talk about the awareness and noticing what's present, what's present in this moment, and also about choosing where you place the attention. Because as we talked about the perception, you can choose to place the attention to being angry on this annoying manager, or you can choose to place the attention to something that's more supportive for you, so that you can continue in the day. And so we were talking a little bit already about the difference between reaction and response. So basically, when there is a situation, um, if you react, it's like automatic and you don't have their pause. If you pause and you create this space, then you respond. So, for example, when there is a difficult conversation, instead of snapping back already, you respond so that you are so that it is helpful for you and you stay strong. And okay, but like, of course, since you are busy professionals, you don't have time to meditate 20 hours a day. to practice mindfulness 20 hours a day. You could see it as an investment to like adding more, let's say, nourishing activities into your life. Because, for example, when taking the class, if you'll continue just drinking from the glass and not pouring not filling it with water, at some point you are going to be on empty, and then it is really hard to have sustainable results. So if you are looking for just like short-term performance, then fine, like expand your resources there to focus on one thing, but on long term it won't give you any results. And so how can you actually practice? How can you actually practice mindfulness when you don't have 20 hours a day? Well, really little people have 20 hours a day. But I would like to just give you some ideas how you can start. How can you start becoming aware of the present moment? So, um, so yeah, the idea is really easy set, but it needs practice. Like for example, creating this pause in your life and or in your day and say, okay, what am I doing here? Am I even doing what I want to do right now? Or am I just like scrolling through social media? Um, Grounding is really, really helpful and really, really quick. And also sensing, looking around you, noticing um, objects, colors, listening, being open to listen. So going for a walk without headphones. And it can be as easy as if I told you right now to look around you and grab first thing that you find and look at it. Notice the colors, shapes, material. Perhaps start like, or perhaps like grab it and you can move it around. Notice like different, like, let's say, patterns and like see what it does. Like for example, my AirPods here, right? It also does like this sound, so becoming aware of this sound. In some cases, if you grabbed now a chocolate, you could also smell it and then also perhaps eat it with more mindful approach. Now, if you are in the office, you probably won't do it in this like really obvious way where you would like look at it and you would like explore it for 10 minutes, and we could do it for 10 minutes and we could like really start like noticing the details. But this helps you to gain some idea around like what you can do in order to pause and to start focusing on one thing. But but it really is important that you find your way, how you want to practice mindfulness, how you want to practice present moment, how you want to practice this conscious placing attention. And it can start with just like noticing your barometer and noticing, okay, right now I am happy, I'm having my coffee. Where do I sense it in the body? And perhaps there are some butterflies in your in your belly, in your stomach. Or perhaps you notice, okay, actually I'm happy, I have my coffee, but I still sense the tension on my shoulders. What can I do about that? Or you have been before, like a presentation, before an interview, before um, a conversation, before um, something that's let's call it stressful, as we did through this whole um, 30 minutes. And you can start sensing it. Okay, there is a tension in my belly, I'm sweating, um, my head is spinning, or I feel like I can't feel properly, and there's like a tension on my head. Or if you need more, find a mindfulness program, a mindfulness based program to reduce stress, build resilience, be more mindful in the workplace so that you can increase the focus and put the energy where you want. Find a new yoga class, find a meditation on YouTube, find a breathing practice, breathing class, and find what works for you. That's the most important thing. If you were curious to try a mindfulness program, I am offering an introductory program for anyone who is seeking to be more better in reducing stress, managing difficult situation at work and life, so that they can focus on progress, so that they can focus actually at work, so that they can, uh, yeah, create this balance for continuous success and for sustainable progress. And so, yeah, if you are more interested in that, you are more than welcome to DM me to book your spot. I'm going to create, or I'm creating a small group, and we are going to have weekly sessions, just us with the group. You'll also receive recordings with some mindfulness practices from me. We'll have something like retreat day, so it will be like on Saturday we'll have a few hours of mindfulness practices. And also, if you're interested, you are more than welcome to um, yeah, join me, to join the group. And I look forward to seeing you. I'm really excited about doing this program. It's actually my first program that's not as part of my studies, because as you, like, some of you follow me along for some time, you know that I was offering these as part of my um, mindfulness based master's at university, and this is my first program after that. So I am really looking forward to launch it and to tell you more about it in coming weeks. If you're interested, DM me to book your spot. And that would be everything from me today. Um, let me know how you found this type of the stream of the LinkedIn Live. Let me know how you found my drawings. Yeah. Um, if you have any feedback, let me know. If you have any progress, do let me know. What quite well works is that I don't see many engagement under my LinkedIn lives, but then I see an engagement in my DMs where you messaged me like, what would you perhaps try, or how it is going for you. And so I am always happy to hear from you. And yeah, I hope that you'll have a really nice Saturday and that you enjoy your weekend. And yeah, do let me know how it is going for you. Do let me know if you have any additional questions regarding the placing attention in automatic pilot, how we perceive things, our responses, reactions. And yeah, or perhaps around mindfulness. If I'll be able to help you, then I'll help you. If I won't be able to help you, then I am always happy to find some um, resources for you where you can perhaps find your answer. Thanks a lot and see you. Bye.